great job of tracing the story of a woman and her relationship to pain and harmful men. The use of red to stand out against the black background was a really great choice. I especially enjoyed the actors' performances. I really had a sense of the emotion behind these scenes and some really painful scenes here. And this is especially important in a film with limited dialogue. My favorite scene was when our main character is on her mattress in the rain and her abuser has her surrounded. The scene was emotional and did a great job of illustrating the memory of her assault and how it's lingering. Overall, this was an emotional and really well done film. I enjoyed
It
it.
was really potent and very like in your face on the effects that abuse has on a person, and like how like different forms of abuse can affect a person, and like how that can like abuses as a child can affect your adult life, your older life, and like can make you more susceptible to abuses in the future. Like this girl, I really liked the use of black and white because it made the dress stand out more. And I think that was a strong choice. I liked when she falls on the bed and it's raining on the bed. I think that really got to me emotionally, because it's a strong image and it evokes a reaction from the audience, which I think was intentional. Really well done.
It's filled with such immense sadness and tragedy and pain and trauma. It articulates all of these emotions without words very much, but really heightened on the visual, the connection that we make by watching the character's pain, not just by watching her talk about it. The images are often difficult, but all too true to traumas that we hear people experience in everyday life. It is truly heartbreaking, but also you can't take your eyes away, because it is speaking a truth that so many women in particular have had to go through in life. And it allows us to kind of wake up and realize that something more must be done in order to help those that have suffered from abuse and trauma such as what we see in this film.
Hard to watch film where it really touched on some of the harder hitting subjects, and they did it in a really artistic and dramatic way, and it worked really, really well in kind of relaying the message of what it feels like to be a woman in a male-dominated world. And something that I really liked about it was that a lot of the settings didn't take place in the actual area. It was just a table in a white background, and I thought that was really smart in making sure that that was the main focus and there was nothing else really happening behind the scenes. It was just this one scenario. And something that's also so great about it is that it's a universal area. You don't need to be in an office setting per se for events like this to happen. It could happen anywhere, as long as there is a man behind a desk and a woman coming through. And it's just like that message and that creativity behind it worked so well in relaying this message. And then something else I really did like was the fact that she was highlighted in her red dress and everything else just black and white, and it really puts her in the spotlight of everything that was happening. So although yes, it was a very hard watch, it was still very artfully done. So really great job all around.
This is an incredibly intense film and definitely can be triggering for some people. That being said, I think that it was handled in a really interesting but also delicate way, because they made a lot of choices that I think were respectful. They obviously build her story and her kind of background as already turbulent, and then you have this moment that everything's kind of building towards, and I love that they went with the noises of a storm as the only thing that you heard during that. I thought that was really well done. I thought it was a really interesting choice. And then the scene after that really, really surprised me and like really impressed me. How it kind of flows of like, she's obviously laying there alone, but it's almost like this phantom touch that she feels, or this phantom feeling. And then she's having this like moment is like in her head, and she can't seem to escape. It's almost like she's being haunted by it, and then that drives her and drives her and drives her and drives her until you get to the very, very end, the pinnacle point. So I thought that all of it was done really, really well, but obviously it's a very intense film, and for them taking on what they took on, I think they did a really good job.
Explores the story and life of this young woman who has been unfortunately surrounded by violent men. And it shows how the cycle of abuse can be generational. She saw domestic violence as a child and then experiences it as an adult. And I think to go along with the title of Die Inside and the imagery that we see throughout the film, I think it really touches on how traumatic incidences that happen in life, while they happen one time, it lives on in the victim forever. And how even though it was a one-time, presumably a one-time incident, she goes to sleep and he's there. She's in the shower and she's there. Like he now plays a pivotal role and a presence in her life, as we can see, and she's suffering from it. And it is very real. And I think the scene where she's on the mattress and she's surrounded by water, and then it's also raining. To me, it gives this imagery of drowning and feeling like she can't come up for air, and she's, kind of, it's coming at her from all areas, and she just can't catch a break. And then, her abuser shows up, and he's just this ever looming presence. And I think that while it's hard to watch, it's the reality of what happens. I think that the actress, all of the actors did an incredible job, but the main actress in particular I think that she went really deep for this role, and I could see that. I could see the pain, even just the scenes of her just watching herself in the mirror and sobbing. It felt so intimate, and I felt like I shouldn't be watching this. It felt so private. And so I think that this was so well done, and a very realistic and artistic portrayal of violence and sexual abuse.